Greetings humanity, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and today we're playing a one-shot of To Serve Her Wintry Hunger by Stephen Dewey, a game that tells the story of 4 winter spirits hunting down human prey for their dark mistress. We will go ahead and go around and say hi to everyone, and see who they are and who they're playing, and then we'll get into some things. So we're starting as we go around with Myr. Hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Myr. Keeping it quick and short, but you can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice, and today I will be playing the Flame, the mistress's favorite.
Yes. Excellent. And now we shall head over to Anik. Hello.
Hello, my name is Anik. You can find me on Twitter at Anikster, and today I will be playing Hunger. Currently, the mistress' second most favored, but, things can change.
This is very true. This is a thing that can happen. And now let us head over to Elliot. Hello.
Hi, I am Elliot. They, them pronouns. I'm playing Spirit of Cold, who's maybe not in the best of standing with the mistress right now, and maybe hoping to earn a little forgiveness.
Yes. One never knows. Now finally we will head over to Alex. Hello.
Hello. I am Alex Wolf, they, they pronouns. I am not on any social media, and I am playing Fear, the mistress's least favored, the reviled, the disliked, and the forgotten one.
Well, this is true, but as has been stated, things can indeed change. Before we get into the specifics of the game in and of itself, just as a reminder, like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat, or anyone else, or just hold up a card, or make an X symbol, and we'll go back and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it, or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game does have the potential for discussions of death, forensic details. Wait, is that correct? Yes. Some ghostly activity. Let me see. I have the wrong content warnings listed here. So I'm going to grab the right ones. Because, of course...
I'm willing to read forensic if you want us to.
If you want, yes, I know. I came to forensic details and I'm like, wait a minute.
We're not supposed to kill the mortal.
You're not supposed to kill the mortal. Killing the mortal would be
everything,
bad.
There's things you can do before they expire.
That's right.
And considering some of the questions I've seen in there, maybe some backstory involving forensic details.
There might be. It's hard to say.
We can make it work.
We can. We potentially entirely can. I
have faith in us.
I feel as though this is entirely doable. I feel as though that is exactly the thing that can be done here. But basically, for the content warnings, this game does have the potential for player versus player roleplay, discussions of death by cold, fear and starvation, cannibalism, possibly, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. And I'm going to go ahead and post that briefly in the chat, and then I'm going to go ahead and set up a bot to continue with that when I have a second. But them's the warnings, and it's a rolling thing. We might add to it as we go. We'll see.
I am a little curious about this whole cannibalism thing, though. Does that mean the players if we tried to eat each other, or if we ate the humans, or if the humans ate each other?
It's very much a metaphorical thing in this case because of the absorption of the life essence of the person you're hunting, supposedly by the Lady of Winter. But there are a number of interpretations one could have.
Psychological torture if we want to just poke a little bit at the human.
That's fair. That's very fair. But also please remember we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game and mental health is always more important. So, I'm going to go ahead and place into here. And psychological torture is actually a good one to put in on the list. So I'm going to put that in. Thank you very much for that, Mayor. I appreciate that.
I just know Anik's really good at it, so
yeah,
it's
that
gonna come
is
up.
also true. And the command to type in to make that show up on here is serve CW. And so that should turn up again also, and I'll put it on a timer so that shows up periodically. Okay. Let us begin. So, may the crocus never bloom, for you have work to do. This is going to require that I read a considerable section of this book. That's part of the game. So please keep in mind that I'll be reading a lot of this out loud to us before we begin our tale. The winter has come, and you live to serve. Yuki Onna hungers and has called upon you, her spirits of snow, to gather sustenance for her. She has summoned forth a terrible storm and cast you out within it to hunt, harry, and capture a lone wandering mortal who has become lost in her winter woods and swirling blizzard. Your task is plain: to gather up this strayed soul and bring them before her icebound throne, alive, to be drained and feasted upon by your ineffable and voracious mistress, as all will inevitably be. On the Lady of Winter, Yuki Onna is a yokai of the wintry solstice winds. It is said by those mortals who have claimed to see her that she appears on snowy nights as a tall, ethereal, and entrancing woman with long black hair and faint blue lips. Her skin is pale, inhumanly so, and at times she stands nearly transparent. She is often garbed in a wintry white kimono and leaves no footprints in the snow. None have seen her feed, but her victims, those wanderers unlucky enough to lose their way in her swirling blizzard, are found as pale and blue and ice-bound as she is said to be. Her winter woods are abandoned, save for foolhardy beasts and obedient foliage. Though no mortals make their home within her forest, travel through her trees is far from rare, since many villages border her domain, and humans are far from wise. Here you will tell a tale of vicious snow spirits. They serve and worship and revere their icy mistress, and they know of no contrary existence. They are tricky and cruel, and revel in the capture and consumption of humans lost in their lady's winter woods. They are not kind, not even to each other. These spirits are competitive, boastful and arrogant little braggarts, who mock and threaten and manipulate their fellows. But of course, despite their tortuous games even, callous jests and harsh belittlements, they all serve Yuki Onna, and not one of them would let their vicious competition stand in the way of success. So be warned. Names may be called, and shall be well deserved, as small and foolish spirits like these are worthless little things, such that even I may comment on their incompetence. But please remember that it is and should forever be in good fun. Yuki Onna is said to take many forms, and her spirits too are strange and shifting and unbound things. Some will say they are nothing more than the icy chill of a deadly winter storm. Their knives, only exposure, and their incantations merely frostbite and frozen breath. And yet others will claim that they are true and wicked beings, tireless in their pursuit and wielding a merciless intellect as sharp as their blades. The truth of things, well, that is yours to discover. Now, spirits pay heed. Now, each of you will have claimed a token of spirit. We have already made this determination as to who is what. But this is a story told through questions. I will ask them, and you will answer them. Through this process, we will tell the tale of a hunt. When the true hunt begins, I will be the only one to ask questions, but first we must learn about each other. As such, I may permit you to each ask each other questions, but don't get used to it. All right. So, some initial questions. That I shall pull up here. So, the first is for Flame. Flame, you are the only fire burning in Yuki Ona's forest. Ice blue and eternal. She often keeps you near. You are her favorite, of course. Answer these questions, and any others the spirits ask of you. First, Yuki Onna has captured your heart. Where does she hide it away for safekeeping?
Far, far deep in Yuki Ona's woods, there is a small lake, deeply frozen to the ground. And in the midst of it sits my heart, a small flame surrounded by ice.
Where does she keep you in her icebound castle?
When I am in her castle, she carries upon her a small mirror of which my light dances on the inside, so she may look upon it whenever she desires.
Okay, very good. Yuki Onna consumes every thought in your mind. She feasts on them, yet she still hungers. Why have your thoughts failed to satiate her?
My thoughts fail to satiate her because they wander. I want to consume more than what she wants me to bring her. So my selfishness keeps her from being satiated.
Finally, when will you cease to love her?
My love for Yuki Onna will diminish when my flame does.
Now, Hunger, Cold, and Fear, you may each ask another question of Flame, if any questions remain. Have you
Do
questions?
any of the humans in the forest ever try to start a fire? And if so, what do you do about it?
I allow them, and then allow it to be snuffed out. So there's that little bit of hope, and then I take it away.
Have you ever failed Yuki Onna? And if so, how did she react?
Yes, she did not look upon me favorably, but I can say that the same has happened to everyone. We all can't always please her.
Are there any further questions?
Yes, if you will permit me. I wonder, Flame, are you the fire in my dream?
Do you want me to be?
It's not my time to answer questions.
let's see how the rest of the questions play out.
Yes, very good, very good. Flame. As you're her favorite, you may claim Yukiona's first and greatest token of favor.
Okay.
Now, hunger. Yukiona has granted you a generous gift. She has bestowed upon you the same glorious, undying hunger that she can never escape. Answer these questions and any others the spirits ask of you. Which of your fellow spirits did you betray for Yukiona to grant you such a rare and envious prize?
We're going to be perfectly honest. I think the question should be, which spirit didn't I betray? I've stepped on all of them at some point in time.
Fair. Most fair. You hunger unendingly as Yukiona does, but your will is weak. Unbeknownst to her, you have found something to slake your hunger and feed your undying appetite. What is it?
I like to siphon little bits of energy from my fellow spirits. She's only ever told me I can't touch the humans.
Interesting. Very interesting. You have told one of your fellow spirits about your hidden feasting. Who among them were you foolish enough to confide in?
I told Fear. It doesn't matter who Fear tells the truth to, they won't care, or they won't believe them.
An interesting stratagem. But finally, Yukiona whispers secrets to you, and no others, in her winter winds. What few words can you make out?
Hard to tell what is wind and what is words with Yukiona. I hear words. There's always hunger. It's the beginning and it's the end. And then there's greed. And then there's blood. And then there's weakness.
All good pursuits, depending on one's point of view, perhaps. Flame, Cold, and Fear, you may each ask another question of hunger, if any questions remain for you.
Dear hunger, at what point does your hunger turn into gluttony? What causes it to be so?
It is a fine line to thread, and it happens during the feeding when I have to be very careful that it's not just a little bit too much. When you think that maybe just one more sip and they won't be able to tell.
Have we any further questions for hunger? None. Very well. Hunger, as you have pleased her, you may claim Yukiona's second token of favor. Cold. Yukiona has never forgiven you for the human you failed to capture many storms ago. As a fitting punishment, she denies you the treasured warmth of the blizzard's embrace, leaving you shivering in the pale sunlight. Answer these questions, and any others the spirits ask of you. Did you set the human free, or did you end their life before Yukiona could feast upon them? Or neither.
I ended their life. Perhaps took my rage a little too far. Didn't necessarily intend on ending their life. It just happened.
Well, we all make mistakes. What was it the human told you? What was it they said to you, O foolish spirit, such that you allowed this to occur?
They tried to use flame against me, whether my fellow spirit or the flame of the fire they hoped to start. I do not know, but a mere mortal such as them couldn't actually hope to touch me. However, they needed to pay for what they said.
All right. Now is the time that I must check myself, because sometimes one can read too eagerly ahead when one is telling a tale. This was that which this is that which the human told you, yes? Or what? Yeah.
What the human told me? Yes, that's what the human said.
Very good.
That spurred me on to take a little too much of his life.
Now, that's interesting because, also unbeknownst to Yuki-onna, you have been stealing warmth from the blood of your kills? What was the first prey from whom you siphoned comfort? What had you killed?
Giant white deer that would roam the forest. One that Yuki-onna appreciated but kept her eye on to perhaps be a creature that might stir up some trouble in the forest. And she wanted it taken care of. But she did not realize I also used it for my own purposes.
Finally, which of your many knives is your favorite? What did you craft it of, and how have you named it?
It is silver-plated steel with a handle made of glass, and the blade looks like frost runs down along the edges, and I named it Frostbite.
Excellent. Very apt. Flame, hunger, and fear. You may each now ask another question of cold, if any questions remain.
Cold. You are her third favorite. The hunger you steal from her kills, do you use that to supplement yourself because you do not get as much favor as hunger or myself? Do you use it to fill the void?
Perhaps a bit. I think it's more to draw my own warmth that she is trying to deny me, as well as perhaps strengthen myself so I can one day take over a higher position of favor.
Ah, ambition. This we like to see.
Speaking of ambition, Cold, you have your eyes aimed up to a higher place. Are you worried fear is eyeing you the same way and that they might be coming for you?
Sure, they want to try. I'm not too concerned.
Any further questions? None, then. Cold, as she has spurned you, you may claim Yukiona's third token of favor. Fear. Yukiona left a single memory intact when she first stole you away. It is enough to fear her. Answer these questions. The flowers you remember from your village, can you describe them?
They are like drops of snow, bent at the neck and reaching up but falling down, with soft, small petals, all white and thin, almost gossamer necks. I remember them swaying and blossoming in the cold. I remember them reaching for the sun and growing toward the earth.
Why do you think it is that Yukiona still allows you to dream?
Because I think she cannot. I think fear comes from a place of jealousy. I think that a favored flame personifies her pride, and perhaps there is something that she wishes not to look too closely at by having me in her midst.
Interesting. You have found a way to free your fellow spirits, but at what great personal sacrifice?
I would lose the memory, even though it is not just flowers, it is also bright and burning. It was a terrible thing and a beautiful place, but I would lose it. Without that memory, how long before I turn cold and hungry and burning hot with her fire and rage? No. Do not think I want to give up those parts of myself just yet.
Why do you continue feeding this monster? Are you too weak, Fear? Or are you simply a coward?
Truthfully, do not know. Maybe I am afraid. But I am not afraid of her. I am afraid that to defy her would make space for something so much worse. What happens if we break this pattern? What would come next? What would fill the void? I do not know. Fear is a patient thing, and I can wait and see what comes of us all.
Interesting. I believe, and perhaps I am being too kind, but I believe that there was a question much earlier. And as this is your time, I shall allow the briefest of moments. for you to give a response. If your, I believe, dreams were of flame in particular.
Tale teller, though fear does not deserve any questions, will you not benefit me in answer to mine, since I am the favorite?
I am curious myself.
Do you want me to be the flame you see in your dreams?
No. But that was the wrong question.
Fear, you're a sad and pathetic little spirit. This is not a question, and you deserve none further. Take the token of disfavor and sit quietly. There is much yet to be done. We will speak of the task. Yukiona hungers. A human has become lost in her storm, and she has sent you out to temper them with ice and to bring them before her for consumption. To achieve this, you must hunt the human down, capture them alive, and commit them to frost. This is no easy task. Each spirit will need to construct and call upon the power of a single perfect flake of snow. To do so, there is a process that must be observed. Now, I shall go over this once now at the beginning, but as we continue, we shall get along as best we can with it. But let me describe it at least outright once. First, to craft your flake of snow, each spirit must build a collection of unique dice. This is a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. This collection will be built slowly over a series of rounds, with each die you claim representing your progress within the hunt. The faster you build this collection in relation to your fellow spirits, the more aptitude you will display on the hunt. However, all spirits must fully complete their flake of snow in order for the hunt to succeed. If even one spirit fails, the human will escape. 2. At the start of each round, all spirits will simultaneously roll their pool of dice. To begin, these pools will each be made up of 6 six-sided dice. You will build your collection of dice by claiming the numbers you roll in sequential order. So for the first die roll, everyone will be looking to claim a 1. 4. You may claim only 1 die per round. So with your very first roll, if you rolled both a 1 and a 2, you would only claim the 1. Such that if you happen to roll the exact number you needed each round, the quickest you could complete your flake of snow would be in 6 rounds, claiming 1 die per round. Number 5. Once you've rolled your dice, you can claim the number you need, if you've rolled it, by setting it aside. It's not physically possible for us to do that in the space we are currently inhabiting, but I believe that it is understood that next time you'll be rolling fewer. This die is no longer part of your pool and may not be rolled again in future rounds. If on a die you have not claimed, you have rolled a number that another spirit needs and failed to claim on their own this round, you may choose to offer them pity, which we are represented by flakes of snow. You may offer pity to another spirit regardless of how far ahead or behind you may be from the spirit in question. Pity represents an offering of assistance, an encouraging word, a wicked deal, a shared secret, or anything else you might devise. To offer pity, a brief scene of roleplay is entered within which the spirit offering pity may extend assistance in any manner, and with any strings attached that they choose. Oftentimes there are discussions, debates, or negotiations over such things. Banter and insults are not strangers to meetings like this. These things happen. A spirit who has received an offering of pity may accept it or refuse it. If it is refused, we move on, and any other scenes to offer pity begin. If it is accepted, however, they must take a mark of pity, so that this transaction will be remembered, and they may then turn one of their errant dice to the proper number that was offered and claim it as if they had rolled it successfully. So you claim the die number you need. Next round you roll fewer. If pity is accepted, the spirit who made this generous offer of pity may, if they choose, swap tokens of favor with the recipient of their pity, even if they said they wouldn't. For spirits are known to be wicked liars. This is done immediately when the pity scene ends. 7. If you did not claim the die you needed in a round, either by rolling it or by accepting pity from another spirit, then you must wait and try to claim it in the next round. You may not skip a number. 8. If you did claim the die you needed in a round, however, I will ask you a question about the hunt, and you will answer it. Through these questions and answers, we will tell the story of the hunt. 9. If you have claimed a die that you rolled, once you have answered my question, you will make a perfect and impressive cut from your snowflake. Number 10. If you have claimed a die that you were offered as pity, once you have answered my question, the spirit who granted you this offering of pity will instead make a tiny and forgettable cut from your snowflake. Now again, given our medium, it is impossible to make cuts on each other's snowflakes, so you shall have to do it in their stead. You must make your own tiny and forgettable cut as punishment for accepting pity. Number 11. Once dice have been rolled, numbers have been claimed, pity has been offered and either accepted or rejected, the questions have been asked and answered, and snowflakes have been cut, I will state the blizzard rages on. At this, everyone will pick up their unclaimed dice and roll again to begin the new round. Number 12. Once a spirit has completed their full collection, they may still roll a single die every round. This die may only be offered as pity. Number 13. If for 4 consecutive rounds no spirits successfully claim a die, the hunt is lost. Now, each cut of a snowflake should be distinct from the others, such that they do not overlap, and each cut should be complete, fully cutting out a piece. For success, pity, and favor, there are, to the cunning eye, 3 competitions at play here: succeeding at the hunt, gaining favor, and pity. Success. There is only one way to be successful at the hunt: for all 4 spirits to successfully craft their flake of snow. If they are unable to do so, the human escapes capture, and the hunt has failed. However, throughout the course of the hunt, spirits may try to complete their flakes of snow first, claiming dice before the other spirits are able to. This represents a show of aptitude, and their skill will be reflected during the story of the hunt, with more opportunities to shine. Favor. The order by which the spirits live their ethereal lives is governed by Yuki Ona's favor. If there is ever a tie where 2 or more spirits would ever speak or act at the same time, whoever is higher in Yuki Ona's favor shall receive the advantageous or favorable position. This even applies when determining who gets to offer pity first. It's always Yuki Ona's favorite. Pity. As the hunt proceeds, spirits may gain marks of pity which stand as a reminder that they accepted assistance offered by their fellow spirits. If the hunt is successful, Yuki Onna looks most fondly upon those spirits who have the least pity. The hunt surely succeeded due to the confidence and skill of these spirits. All will be rewarded, but they will be rewarded the most. If the hunt is unsuccessful, Yuki Onna looks most fondly upon the spirits who have the most pity. The hunt was lost, but at least these spirits showed the humility to try and succeed, even at the cost of their own pride. All will be punished, but they will be punished the least. Before we begin the hunt, I shall ask, are there any questions, clarifications that you would like me to make at this time? I can make more as we go along. It's not too late, but anything before we proceed?
If we roll what we need, must we claim it, or is it always a choice?
Yeah, you don't have to claim it.
Thank you.
I can't imagine why you wouldn't, unless you're feeling desires of sabotage, but, well, people's reasons are their own.
I might have missed this in what you're saying, but so everyone has to make it for the hunt to succeed.
Yes.
Do you go only so many rounds?
Well,
What determines?
it's
if
going
somebody
to go
fails?
one way or the other at some point. Mathematically. Because you can only go, if you go 4 rounds in a row without catching the human is going to get away. Without making progress on the hunt. So,
Okay.
when you're not making progress, there is a countdown. And those will be represented by the delightful marks of shame that I have put in. There are 4 of them. Once they're all on the board, the human gets away.
So to clarify, it's 4 rounds of where no one claims a die.
Yeah, 4 rounds in a row in which no one claims a die.
Okay.
Yeah. I have created for myself a little chart. We shall see how effective it is. But,
Well,
mhm.
one more question. Say one of the spirits does have sabotaging intent. Can we feed a spirit to Yuka-onna instead of a human?
Well, we'll have to see what happens when we reach Yuki-onna, won't we?
Fair enough.
I mean, we'll have to see.
Just wondering.
All right. Well then. We are going to now start these rounds. I'm going to see how effective I am at creating notes for myself. And we shall proceed. So we are at the first round here. And so we must go ahead and then make our rolls. Everyone rolls to see, to look for the number, see if they get the number they're looking for. This is the first round. No, the first die you're going for, I should say. First die. Is everybody rolled? So. If I read this correctly, the only spirit who has not gained a 1 this round is hunger.
I was distracted,
By your plans of
wondering if I can
sabotage.
feed a spirit to Yuki-onna.
Each player can
I'm
claim a
basically
die. Hmm?
standing behind fear going, I wonder if it would work.
Let me check something very briefly here. I just want to make absolutely certain of something. Because I said something earlier, and I want to make certain that it is correct. Sometimes one has to be certain.
You've not claimed your die, Fear.
That's the question that I have. One moment. All spirits must complete their flake of snow. I'm just
Are you
making sure I answered that
surprised?
question correctly. I just want to make sure I answered that question correctly. Yeah.
Some of us are not in a hurry to complete every little action. Some of
First
us
night, everyone will be
take our
looking.
time.
Better
You'll
hope your
build your
luck is
collection
better
of
in the
dice,
following rounds
claiming
then.
the numbers of dice you roll in sequential.
This
If
isn't
one
luck,
fails, we all
Flame. This is
fail.
unwillingness.
Hmm.
Fear's playing games.
Who
They've
said
got
I was
nothing
not
else.
going to claim it? I
Your
was,
sweet
as I said,
time.
taking my time.
Yeah. I've seen nothing that says you are required to claim, so that's. I'm afraid I've. That's. Yeah, that's.
It's a good.
The
It's
rules
an
are still
interesting
being
loophole.
obeyed. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's funny that there is in fact a section on sabotage that talks about not claiming pity, but we'll have to see how things go. That said, however, let us see. So, does anyone have currently have a spare one that they wish to offer hunger as pity?
Yes, but all this talk of potentially feeding Yuki Onna with another spirit makes me think I'm gonna hold off for just a little bit.
Fair.
I'd say
I
sorry,
mean,
but
if
I'm
you're
not.
concerned, maybe currying favor with hunger would help your case a little bit.
I might be willing if hunger doesn't offer to feed me, or attempt to anyway. Not that Yukione would want to devour me.
I really don't think it
Change.
matters what I say. I mean, you weren't my first choice to feed Yukiona. But honestly, right now, I don't need your pity. There's plenty of time.
Good.
All right. Well, very well.
If fear keeps up this trend of not trying to do what we're out to do, maybe Yukiona won't mind taking them instead.
I have claimed what needed claiming. As I said, I am in no rush. Do not confuse patience with reluctance. So far, it is only hunger's gaping maw that has failed to do anything. Perhaps she is the one who fears completion of this task.
Mayhap. Well, let us, however, talk of the blizzard still raging, as this is going forth. I must ask each who claimed to die a question, and as we have 3 ones, I'm going in order of favor currently. So, Flame, you are the first, so speak of the howling winds and how they carry you aloft. Did someone teach you to fly, or does the wind owe you a debt?
The winds howl throughout the woods, whipping the trees back and forth and branches snapping amongst their gales. I fly because the wind owes me. You can't have fire without air, and vice versa. So it is beneficial to both of us if we serve each other.
Yeah. Second here on my list, I see, goes down to cold. Speak of the snow and how it shifts and twists. What do you say in shouter and whisper to the snowflakes as you charge through them?
I call upon them to aid us in our quest to they're falling gently and swirling and drifting almost peacefully, but I summon them to rush alongside us and follow this human with us to go swirl around them and start to slowly freeze their nose and tips of their toes, but they're concerned. Perhaps frostbite could be on the way. Do they need to be worried about that? Will that slow them down? And they start to realize that the cold might be a little much for them to contend with.
Good. Ah, no, I see fear has indeed claimed a 1. Being the third here. Speak of the icy chill of winter and how it claws and cuts into you. Do you embrace the biting cold, or do you flee from it in terror?
It is like the knives, that toothy maw that belongs only to our mistress, the true hunger in these woods. When you feel her cold bite into you from the nape of the neck to the tips of your toes, and perhaps, as Cold did say, you turn black from it, but you feel it in your veins, you feel your blood dropping. Can blood be frostbitten? I do not know. This is not my domain. But yes, the cold is embraced, because after that initial shock and the fear wears off, it is almost warm, like a blanket. You could sink into it if you so chose, but still they run, and they run, and they run.
Ah. All of you who have now just answered your questions, each of you claimed dice that you yourselves rolled, so you may each make a perfect, impressive cut in your snowflake. The blizzard rages on. Now, those of you going for your first die, roll for first. Those of you going for your second die, roll second. It's not temporal order, though. That's the buttons that I've got put down in here. All right. Okay. Ah, there it is. All right. So, no one has succeeded this round. One moment. Now, there is still the option, I believe. However, one moment. There is still the option of pity. Does anyone have anything they wish to offer as pity?
I have a few twos.
Hunger. Would you like to make a bargain? I'll
I'm
give you a
listening.
1 for a 2. We perhaps aid each other a little bit. We don't sacrifice one another to Yukiona.
A trade. A trade that leaves out flame and fear. I like
Yes. Yes.
I have a quick question. Just because there's a matter of slight import here. I just want to make absolutely certain. So you're each offering each other a trade. That means you would each
I
receive
offered pity with the string that I get a 1 in return.
That's my question, you see. What is the order of things? Who is making the first offer?
I offered my twos. Cold suggested a 1 in return. I will take that string.
Cold, are you is that your interpretation as well?
My interpretation would be that I'm not sure how much what counts toward being important. Since I'm the one that proposed a trade, how that would affect things.
See, that's
But
my question.
Mm.
Because that's the interesting question. There are two different ways one can look at this, you see. As to who
I've
is making
interpreted the way
offer.
that works best for me.
I believe what our lovely tale teller is getting at is favor going to be switched depending on who is first.
Precisely.
If Cole is offering me pity, I will refuse. If she is offering me a bargain on behest of my pity, I will accept.
so it might not be that we eat for
The way I
accepting
see it,
pity.
you're the only one who gets a mark of pity, but I am willing. I mean, there is no point in me to swap favor tokens, so we're not losing anything there. At least I'm not. And I catch up and you pull ahead. I'll add in the extra bargain that I won't offer my other two to either of flame or fear.
Trying to find the section on pity that explains this.
While Cold contemplates your offer, Hunger, I am not afraid. Not of you, not of your pity. Would you like my one? I would gladly take your mark of pity. I am already disfavored in her eyes. What is more?
You make a fair point. Cold already stated ambition, plans, and plotting.
And I know you do not want my token. And clearly I cannot take yours if I take your pity.
I must confess, mild surprise to your willingness to further the hunt. But I agree. Let's leave Cold out in the cold as they ponder and consider and think and take too long.
It is my
Sorry,
great...
Cold.
Mhm.
Are you, though?
No, but it
I
sounds
don't think
better.
so.
That is the funny thing. When you are made of fear, what have I to fear from each of you? What will you do that is worse than what she has already done? So I will gladly take that pity, Hunger, and have my offering in return. Would you like my
That's a
token of disfavor?
Tempting fear, tempting if only to feel the sensation. Then again, fate might yet bring me to your point, and I see no need to rush there. Still tell her we have an accord.
Excellent. Therefore, I would say go ahead and remove the one from your own pile, so that, remove the die from your own pile, so that it is. Are we swapping? Is that correct? Is that what we're doing? Yes. And then Fear will take a flake of pity from down below.
I would like clarification. If we
Sure.
had swapped, though, would that mean, according to the rules, we would each need to take a mark of pity? Because that was my interpretation.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this is the negotiations can kind of bend the rules.
Okay.
So it's a little hazy. It's one of those things where if you look down below in Roll20, if you look down below where there are snowflakes, down below, I put them against a white background because I am an imbecile. But you should all be able to move those. There you go. They don't really show up terribly well against the lighter. I mean, I can see it very beautifully on my monitor. But, yeah, there you go. There you go. So, so yes, that is the thing, is that the rules can kind of be trumped somewhat by the negotiations. So it's a little bit, it's one of those strange things. But that's the thing, is the main thing to look at is if you're the one making the offer, then after the deal is done, then you can also swap. That's what it comes down to. And that is the trick with what has happened at this point. It's hard to tell who made the offer. So it's I would say that nothing should be swapped at this point, as far as no favor should be swapped at this point. Just so that we are clear with this particular round.
No interest in swapping my favor with fear, thank you.
No, not at all. Just not even.
No, that.
Oh, all right. Well then, that being the case, were there any more deals anyone wanted to make? Or if not, then the blizzard rages on. And the time has come to, Let me see. Well, wait, no, hold on. No, it is not. Stand by. I made this mistake before. The blizzard's staying right where it is. I need to put in the, I need to make this here. Yes, I need to make the note as to who got what when. There we go. Okay, a 1 and a 2. We have this round. Okay. Now, I have questions for you. That must be asked. So, Hunger. You are the last to get a 1. Speak of how even you, foolish spirit, managed to be turned around by the blizzard's swirling.
Answer lies in your question already. I was merely being foolish. A moment of distraction. Too focused on plots and plans and favor and ambition, and not enough on that delectable little snack running through the woods. And I looked away for a moment, got a little turned around. I've reoriented myself.
Yeah, there we go. All right, then. Now, Fear. Fear is the first to claim a 2. Congratulations. You will speak of the woods, vast. The forest opens a shortcut before you, and soon your strides cover miles. Do you grant the trees some offer or token of thanks, or do you scorn and curse them as you pass?
I grant them the token of some of my memory, the memory of spring just after the frost, the memory of what it feels like to begin to grow warm after a long, cold winter.
Excellent. All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. So. Now the blizzard rages on. And it is time once again to roll whatever your whatever it is you need at this point. To roll on whichever die number you need. Okay. So, let's see what we've got. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks as though if you're going ahead and grabbing your any dice if you wish to claim them. Looks as though We have 2 who have rolled numbers that they need, and then we have 2 who have not rolled numbers that they need. As I leap back and forth between my various my various notes here. So it appears as though, once again, hunger and flame, both flame and hunger, have not rolled the dice that they need.
Math is right. I don't think any pity can be offered either.
Yeah, you're right. Looks as though, the way these have come out in this. Yep. Nope. No pity to spare this round. All right. So, therefore, it is time we come to questions again. Let's see, what was claimed this round? We have a 2, and we have a 3, looks like. So, Cold, we are speaking again then of the woods. You are the second to get a 2. Speak of the deep frozen roots and the tall barren canopies above. Do you stick to the game trails in your hunt and sail through the underbrush, or do you soar through the tall branches?
Shoot up to the tall branches, going over and around them, dusting them with frost along the way. Both for my own amusement, because it's just fun, and it's pretty, and also to add a little bit of drama, touch of terror perhaps to our prey, who feels perhaps more cold coming after them, behind them, to add more to their discomfort and their knowledge that we are indeed on their trail.
All right. I have just been reminded that I have not been reading my own notes. But I will get to that in a moment. Because luckily I have a record here, so we can do it. So I am going to go on to the next question real quick, and then we're going to do snowflake cuts. So the next question is again, this is for Fear, who has gotten a 3. And you will speak of the hunt unceasing. You are the first to get a 3. Speak of how you lead the pursuit. What war cry do you shout into the wintry storm?
I shout the name of my dead village, the place that she burned to ash, the place that proud flame razed to the ground. And as I run past her with long strides, as they grow smaller in the wake of my strength and speed, I laugh. I am not disfavored because I am weak. I am disfavored because she fears my strength. And so I hunt with all my teeth and claws and cold and hunger and the fire in my belly, because I remember what you did to my home, and she will not let me forget.
Nice. All right. So, we have actually through round 2 and round 3, we did not cut snowflakes in round 2, so let's take care of that. So I have the interesting thing about round 2 also, because of the way that it happened. Because it's like if the player claimed to die they got from pity, they make a tiny forgettable cut. But then the only alternative is if the player claimed to die they rolled. They make a perfect impressive cut.
I didn't take it from pity. I also didn't roll it.
Yes. So I would say you make no cut at all. I think.
That feels unfair, but sure.
Doesn't it, though?
Don't you have to complete your
That's
snowflake?
an interesting question.
To
Yes, you
make
do
it?
have to complete your snowflake. And so that would I
That
think
means
we've
that
found
you never have to bargain again because you don't get
Yeah.
a cut anyway. So you
I
might as
think-
well quit
yeah.
bargaining now.
I think we've found the bug that crashes the game. So
How does that always happen to me?
So I'll tell you what. Why not make a cut halfway between a perfect make an average cut.
I'll make a mediocre cut.
Make a mediocre average cut.
I'll make the C plus of cuts.
Yes, that's right. I think that's one cut you're going to make.
Alright,
So-
I'll make the C plus of all snowflake cuts.
For round 2, Fear also may make a tiny forgettable cut. For round 3, Fear may make a perfect impressive cut as well.
We're just sending this video to the people who make this
Yeah, I
game
know,
going,
right?
we borked it, please fix.
And then, of course, Cold also will be making a perfect impressive cut for round 3. So,
Oh, my players got creative.
yeah.
Should be the tagline of your channel in general.
I know, right? That's this channel is driven entirely on on player creativity. So the cuts are made, and I have read my notes. That tells me that the blizzard must rage on, but first, we're going to take a little break from our hunt, and then when we come back, we shall do our darndest to finish it, if we can. I've actually got an interview I'm going to put in here for the break. It's been some time since I've done that, but it's been some time since I've had had a break on this channel long enough to put an interview. So we're going to do that, and we'll be back in a little bit. We will see you shortly. Welcome to the break. I have Josh Simons here. Greetings, sir.
Hello.
We are going to talk a little bit about a campaign that you are in at present. Stay Alive, is that the name of the campaign?
Yeah, Stay Alive. We play over on the Free Forge Twitch channel on Wednesdays. It's kind of this new adventure that I've been doing recently, and I have really, it's kind of sparked my interest in a couple of different types of media, which is kind of a thing that I want to talk about with you at some point. But the premise is basically kind of post-apocalyptic zombie horror survival. There's some things changed. They're called Zerk. As opposed to zombies, that's one of the big ones. But It's this very interesting tabletop game system written by a friend of mine named D&Deej, who runs the channel over at the Free Forge. He got pretty popular on Twitter like 2 years ago for publishing stat blocks for people. So, you could be like, hey, Deej, I want a stat block of me. And he would write you a stat block based on what he found on your profile on the internet. It's a really cool thing, built a great community out of it. And we've got this new game using this game system that he's developed specifically for it. And I think what's kind of interesting about Stay Alive as a show is we're really approaching it much more like a television show than we are approaching it like a tabletop actual play. Because, oftentimes at the start of a stream, we'll do hey, what's up? My name is Josh. Today I'm playing George. He's your barbarian dwarf. He's super cool. Anyways, I'm going to go drink some ale, right? And you go around, you do all these things, then you do the announcements as, hey, we won't be meeting next week because we have X, Y, and Z thing, or find us at this convention or whatever. And we've skipped all of that. We have a little pre-roll intro with some music and the quick premise of here's what the story is about. Then we hop right into, all right, last time you drove away from the zombie horde in your beat up car. You find yourselves now approaching a gas station. You've got maybe 50 miles left. What do you do? Right. And we just pick up right in the action and really try not to break the fourth wall as much as possible, which is kind of a fun and unique thing. So that's the basic overview of Stay Alive.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And I do like those immersive shows, game shows, those immersive
Welcome
RPG
to
shows.
Jeopardy!
Welcome to Jeopardy!
Our lives are in jeopardy.
Yes, that's right. And now you are the answers.
Yeah,
Be
well,
the answers.
look,
Yeah.
I'll take what is Stay Alive for 500.
Yeah, exactly. How is that possible? How? No, but I like the when we do these when you do these when anyone does these games, and they do take the time and the effort to actually make it so that you're totally in that world. And I was looking at some of it, and it is very role playing intensive. And
yes.
That is incredibly cool. Sort of looking at the intro on one of them, I got this sort of a vibe of kind of like 28 Days Later.
Yeah, there's definitely a very similar element to that. So yeah. I mean, we are definitely pulling from shows and IPs like The Walking Dead for inspiration. We're definitely pulling from a lot of your like zombie survival type of games, things like The Last of Us and things in that kind of vein for inspiration, and really having a lot of fun with it. This is my first real foray into anything a little bit darker and more kind of horror themed. I don't know if horror is exactly the right word, but it's definitely a very gritty kind of survival focused game where the odds are stacked totally against the players. Like I before session 1 had 3 characters ready to go because that's just how quickly I'm expecting them to drop. And as of date of this recording, I am one of 2 players who has not lost a character yet, and I am so shocked. I was expecting to go session 1. So, but it's been really cool. And what I think is so cool about it is how the kind of rising and falling of stress and pressure and this kind of impending sense of doom really drives such an interesting and compelling narrative as we are trying to tell this really impactful story, but are also trying to give moments for it to feel like human and normal and not just cool, like ever increasing odds and everyone's gonna die every episode. It just so really trying to find a balance there has been fun and interesting for me as I'm, like I said, kind of venturing into this space for the first time.
Excellent, excellent. Well, do you want to talk a little bit about the sort of the lore of this thing, how this has come out just from what's come out so far, and about these Zerk?
Absolutely. So, I mean, much like many zombie survival sort of things, somewhere along the line there was a virus. And this virus has basically turned the people who contract it, when they die, they can continue on in kind of a mindless state. And so the premise of this show is that there are these kind of military-run survival camps. And really the only way out of that survival camp is if you're selected for this unique program called the Ark, where you get to go and help be a part of civilization rebuilding. And selection for this is very, very limited because it's going to mostly be reserved for, folks who have a lot of privilege or a lot of power who can kind of buy their way into it. But your kind of average common folk have an opportunity sometimes from time to time to go do something to help the camp. And so our task is we are leaving our camp on the west coast of the United States to travel to the east coast of the United States, where the CDC is located near Atlanta. Learned that in The Walking Dead, and try to get some specimen, some sample that is apparently ready, but no one is able to deliver it to our camp on the West Coast. And so it's this long kind of cross-country road trip, sort of like there's a whole variety of genres that we're pulling from, but that kind of feels very much like what was that kids show, that kids movie with like the cat and the dog road tripping across the country to get home. I'm drawing a blank on the name right now. It'll come to me right as soon as we're done recording. So it's very reminiscent of like that road trip kind of story where we're trying to go and, circumvent big cities where there's, large swarms of these Zerk, dealing with other survivors and how they've kind of coped with the trauma of society ending. And it's been really interesting and really, it has gone directions that I did not expect already in the first couple of episodes. But I have really enjoyed kind of getting into that state of, hey, like everything sucks. The world is literally already been destroyed. How do I take care of me and mine and those that are important to me in a way that feels both like convincing and real, but also isn't like screwing over my party members every session because, oh, well, they're attacking. I'm going to leave y'all to deal with that. Bye. Like that's what Josh would do in that scenario, right? Because I'm not a fighter. Look, what am I going to do against one zombie, much less, a swarm of them? There's nothing. I'm not a strong guy, right? I'm good at running fast away from trouble. So just trying to explore some of these ideas and how to tell that kind of narrative well has been really, really a neat experience from my end. And something that I'm enjoying personally.
Excellent, excellent. And one thing I also just want to ask about real quick because we enjoy highlighting systems that folks don't get to see quite so often on this channel. This is a system tailor-made for this game, this kind of game. Is there anything in particular that you really enjoy about the system that you'd like to talk about for a moment?
Yeah, so it's D6 based, and it is more of a rules light sort of system. The current working draft that we're using for this particular show is, I think, maybe 10 pages in total. So it's not a lot of rules really, and a lot of that is like a page and a half of that is like world lore. So it's very simple in terms of like, here's the mechanics. But I think what it does, and I actually was talking about this not too long ago on a stream that I did, is you're rolling 1d6 and then you get to add or subtract a number based on your skills and proficiency in whatever you're trying to do, be that a brawl check or a science check or a notice check, whatever type of check it is you're trying to do. But oftentimes the difficulties, your DC that you're trying to beat there is higher than a 6. And so it feels, kind of going into a conversation that you and I had earlier, like the odds are stacked against you. It is not designed for you to succeed. And so the fact that you have survived as long as you have, it's building this tension just inherently because you're doomed to fail. It's just a matter of when, which is really intense. And, I think folks in chat who really enjoy the show, they feel that tension, that kind of fear that, hey, these characters are going to go, right? We only have so long with these characters, only so long with this narrative before someone else comes in and has to kind of take up the mantle, so to speak. So it's something that I think the system does really well, is builds tension by making it a situation where the odds are stacked against you. And I think that's something that I would like to see more in systems that are intended to do something similar to this, in terms of really making the difficulty clear.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's I'm just going to say that's one of the things that I love about the Trophy Dark game that I'm currently playing. It actually uses the Trophy Dark system, but it's Sunken. It's ocean horror game that is or has been going on my channel. It's very. I just love a very sort of clear, nicely defined narrative area where you're gonna have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yep.
It's so neat to be able to play that out because you just know that once you've got those parameters, then if you want, you can go bananas. So it's very cool, very cool. Well, can you remind us one more time, where can we find this game if we want to go looking for it?
Yeah, we play most Wednesdays with a small, we're going to have a little holiday break, but most Wednesdays over at twitch.tv/thefreeforge on Wednesday evenings starting at 8:30 Eastern time or 5:30 Pacific time.
Excellent. And for folks who might not be seeing this recently or who are going back to look for it, do they keep the VODs on the Twitch channel?
The VODs are on the Twitch channel, and eventually they're going to make their way over to YouTube. That has not happened yet, but I think that is the ultimate plan one day. But for the time being, you can catch the most recent couple of episodes on Twitch, and that's a great place to start.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us about this. Sounds like an excellent campaign.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, folks. Well, I'm going to toss things back over to my future self. Take care, and we will see you all of a sudden. We have returned. And now it is time for us to continue our hunt through these strangely bird-ridden winter woods, apparently. And who knows what they really are, though. We are starting the 4th round. So it is time, once again, to roll for whatever die you're going for. I'm seeing a lack of success kind of across the board here. Let's see. And what do we need? There are people who need... We need 2s and 3s and 4s. Does anyone have any of those that they would like to offer in pity to anyone?
Well, I have a 2.
You do have a 2. Would you like to
Hunger.
offer that to someone?
We did strike a bargain before.
I have nothing to offer you in return.
I'm not asking for anything. It would... You carry yourself almost as proud as Flame. I wonder what it would take for you to humble yourself and take pity from another, one as lowly as myself. Would you even allow it, for the sake of the hunt?
Fair question. Honestly, fear, yes, I would. You may be fear, but I don't fear you. And I believe that we serve. We serve the same entity, being, hunger, claws and knives and wind and snow, and I, for one, will not be the one that would cause this hunt to fail.
You're right. Even though I know you all think that I would want this to fail, clearly I do not. I have humbled myself, and I have stretched myself. Let us be honest with ourselves, Hunger. If anyone causes us to fail, it will be Flame, too proud to ever take pity from another.
Next to see Flame make moves or requests or bargain or humble themselves. But as I said, I serve, you serve, and I will take your pity. If that means we catch the human and ever so briefly offer sustenance to Our Lady.
Well then, Keeper, it seems we have a bargain struck.
Yes, so...
I have offered pity, and Hunger has accepted.
Yeah, so Hunger can now take the 2.
And I will take Hunger's token of favor.
Well, there we are.
I assumed as much.
And when you outstride me, you may have it back. It is not a matter of ambition. It is simply a matter of practicality. I am the stronger. Flame may think she is, but they are... Well, quite a bit behind us, aren't they?
For now. We are, after all, part of the blizzard. Things will shift and change and be blown about.
It's funny how the two of you are saying I'm not willing to make moves, but I am about to, so please don't put words in my mouth and speak ahead before I'm able to have my chance to do so. Cold.
Very excited.
We
Yes.
both have something we both need. And if we continue to dally, we will not be able to feed our mistress. I have a 2 and you have a 3. Or, sorry, I have a 3 and you have a 2.
What are you offering?
I would prefer for us to take pity on each other. But I would not like I would rather be in the disfavor of the mistress and succeed than fail. So pity on each other, and we switch favors.
I accept that.
Okay?
Very well.
Especially considering the other two seem to be banding against us.
So it
I
does.
made you an offer, Cold. You simply didn't choose to accept it. When fear
I
did.
would have.
Cabals are forming. Excellent.
Yes.
Chasing a human down through a blizzard is hardly the time to ponder and question for many minutes.
That's fair. And I believe Cold Till. There you go. Okay. Yes. So everything is upside down.
For now, there's plenty of time for it to go back.
That's true. That's
Trying
true.
to figure out what's going. Okay.
Okay. Let me see.
So I put my 3 in plan. Okay.
Yes.
Cold got a 3, and I don't think... Yeah, Fear picked up nothing this round. Okay. All right. So, next thing is I shall ask questions. So, this round I start with the 2s. So, we have 2 2s between Flame and Hunger. It appears that, well, Flame still outranks Hunger. So, this is the, you are going to be the 3rd to claim a 2. And we are speaking once again of the woods vast. Speak of the foolhardy beasts and how they mark your passing. Do they join with you in the chase, or do they hide away?
As you said yourself, the beasts are foolhardy. They know that flame is dangerous and that flame hurts, and that if we touch, they will be harmed and bedridden. So they run.
Interesting. Interesting. And Hunger. Hunger is the last to get a 2. Speak of the labyrinth of brush and evergreen that gives Yuki Ona's woods such a dense and wild shape that you almost lose your way. Why have you forgotten her wintry paths?
The others may see these forests as barren and frozen, but there's always something growing and green. And yes, I once again briefly got distracted. I might not be quite as focused on catching this human as I was on other hunts. It's just, I haven't fed in a while, and I've not had 3 spirits quite so close to me in a long time. It's taking a lot of willpower not to try and drain a little bit from one of them at some point. just to feel a little bit less hungry for just a short time.
Good. And then we have a 3. We have our second 3 that belongs to Cold. Cold, speak of the human's trail nearly lost beneath the snow, but that you so deftly find. Do they leave behind a path of footprints, or something else in their wake?
Leave behind a sense of warmth from their presence that is not the sort of warmth that I seek out, that I have been being denied by our mistress, but enough of a warmth that I can follow the trail even if I am somewhat repulsed by it. These mortal creatures, when they are alive, give off such a strange sense, but I'm able to follow. And despite the lack of footprints, the lack of visible trace, I know where they're going. I know how to follow.
Excellent. So, now we must make cuts in those snowflakes for those who have picked things up. Now, as I recall, once again, no one, to my knowledge, no one actually rolled what they needed, so these are all going to be small cuts that are made. So, it means that flame and hunger and cold may... Wait, is it flame? Yes, flame and hunger and cold may each make a tiny, forgettable cut in their snowflakes. And the blizzard rages on. So the time has come once again to roll that which you do not have, or what you are going for.
Can I get different digital dice?
Yeah, I would like that too.
Here, let me change them out real quick. Hang on. I'll shake Roll20 for a moment.
Wait, I've got nothing against. Statistically, that is unlikely, yet here we are.
That's fair. Did it just happen again? Did we have no... Wait, we have a success. There is a success.
Yes, I got a 3.
There we are. Huh. And, does anyone have anything they want to make deals with? Alright, I'm not hearing anything, so... Therefore, we're
I mean,
going
I
to
can
creep...
offer a 4 to Cold, but Cold has no reason to take it. Same with Fear. I think they both appreciate me being in last place.
I could offer Hunger a 3, but I don't want to give up whatever that would cost me.
Hunger, I would take your pity. As I have said, we must each do what is required to succeed. If Flame is willing to humble themselves, well, I would be a poor spirit if I did not do in kind. Are you offering pity?
I'm I'm offering a bargain. You have something I want.
What do I have that you want?
A delectable 3.
Very well. Take it. Claim what is yours, as you see fit.
Thank you, Fear.
So, just so that I am clear. Oh, yes, I see more pity flakes there. There we go. Okay.
At this point, I'm just collecting special little snowflakes.
Yes. Well, it's important. It's important. All right. Very well. So as I see it, the only one who hasn't picked up anything this round is Cole.
I'll swap my token of favor back with Fear. What is life if not turmoil and change? Again, most likely temporary with the way fate is looking upon me in this hunt.
Very well. So, let us see. Let us see then. So we have for this round, as we look through here, we have threes. We have a couple of threes. We have a couple of threes and a 4. So the questions are coming. We have between flame and hunger. Hunger is now second in favor.
Tone down the surprise, tale-teller. No need to be rude about this.
I was merely noting the accomplishment. That's all.
I thank you.
So, you are going to get the question first. You are... Let's see. You are the third, therefore, to get a 3. Speak of a treasure that the human has lost in the journey, but that you have found.
I found underneath one of those lovely evergreen bushes I got so turned around by but a moment ago a piece of paper with a rather well done drawing. Just some other humans. Some of them are smaller than the other ones. I'm not sure if that signifies anything. Remarkable resemblance, but overall, artistically well done.
Very innovative, those humans, every now and then.
Don't give them too much credit, please.
Oh, well, I didn't say it was a good thing.
Fair.
But Flame now is the last to claim a 3. Speak of how you are nearly left behind by the other spirits. Do they distrust you? Do they fear you? Or do they mock you in their victory?
The first question is very simple. Of course they don't trust me. None of us trust each other. What we decide to do is only to continue to please our mistress. Hence why we talk to each other, hence why we bargain. Do they fear me? If they fear fire and pain, I cannot say. But the same thing applies. It is a constant flux back and forth. Maybe one point they do, and maybe one point they don't, but it's really not that important to me. But mocking, Some are so much bolder to say it out loud, and some just say it mumbled under their breath. But I think that they are pleased to have moved forward past me.
Very good. Very good. And Fear is the first, once again, to claim a die of a certain number, in this case a 4. And the interesting thing about when one rolls a 4 is that we speak regardless of order, because this speaks to your roll specifically. Fear. Speak of what is waiting. Well, wait, and again, we are speaking of the human, lost. What is waiting for the human at home, and how can they feel it slipping away?
There are the shadows of people seen by firelight, a hearth hot and warm. And for some of this hunt, they could tell themselves the frostbite that turned warm was a flickering reminder of that hearth, of that home. But we have been in these woods for so long, and as their skin grows necrotic from the cold, they can feel that warmth cracking and breaking, and as they flake away, so does that memory. And they know what waits for them. Maybe nothing, because the blizzard consumes much of this land, and perhaps it has already consumed their home. It's so hard to remember what it felt like to be surrounded by that warmth, the warmth of loved ones, the warmth of fire, the warmth of that hearth. And as fear grips them and their skin breaks, well, I believe the next part belongs to you, storyteller.
It's interesting. It's an interesting time. Good news for them, but can one get? Can one get? We have gotten to the end of this 5th round. There is, however, some snowflake cutting to do. As by my recollection, Flame was the only one who was able to claim something that they in fact rolled. So Flame may make a perfect impressive cut in their snowflake. And then as for Hunger and Fear, they may each make a tiny forgettable cut. And the blizzard rages on. So, I see that one of the favor tokens appears to have drifted. 2 of them appear to have drifted. Perhaps it's only in my mind. Let me refresh my Roll20 real quick.
I see 1 out of place. That's interesting.
Let me see if I can see what's getting on here. No, they're back. Okay, that was interesting. All right.
First mine too, then.
Yeah, that's all right. Sometimes the techno demons can get at us, but I digress. They are not in this tale. Back we go. Back we go to the woods. So. Go ahead and make our rolls. All right. So I see that Flame was successful. Getting a 4, which is good. And then, once again, has anyone anything to offer anyone?
I have a 4.
offering your form? Or are you simply stating you have one?
Taleteller, clarify for me. When in the process does the favor get switched? It's whoever is offering pity decides to do the switching?
Yes, when you offer pity to someone, then after you are done, you may switch favor with them, whether you had agreed to that or not during the deal.
Okay.
And that is, once again, one of those things that in the text itself is a little bit vague.
I just wanted to clarify.
But in general, it is the one who is making the offer. It is the one who is offering pity.
I would offer my 4 to Hunger if she wants it.
I'll take it.
Okay. And I will switch our favors.
I assumed. Let's just play your pragmatism. There is absolutely zero chance I'm going to roll anything I need for the rest of the evening.
Oh.
Well, dear Hunger, if you are still in the habit of making bargains, I would still accept your pity. You are rich in that, if nothing else.
It's true, I continuously seem to have what I do not wish to have at all. I will offer pity. Fear. Again, all that matters is that our mistress is fed.
I will offer pity to Flame.
Only
And
accept 1 per round.
That is correct.
I already got a die for this round, so I can't accept any others.
oh, you got one. I was thinking
Yeah.
you gave one.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Flame's the only one who rolled what they needed to roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see there. Okay. Well, never mind.
Alas,
Like,
There
you
are-
overdid it.
no. I don't know. If you want to come in and attempt to override their deal because you're currently first in favor, we can see where that leads. But I'm afraid I cannot help you very much because there is no precedent in the rules for it.
Well,
Are we? Are you good? You want to- Okay.
I'm not swapping favor tokens with fear, by the way.
No, not at all.
No.
Oh, well. Ah, well.
Probably next round, let's be realistic.
I mean, it could happen. It totally could happen. Well then, as I see it, I have some questions to ask. So, we have 2 4s now. And while order doesn't necessarily matter, it will at least affect the order in which I ask the questions. Between Flame and Hunger, Flame shall go first. Flame, we are speaking once again of the human lost. Speak of the fire they try and fail to build. Does the kindling crumble? Are the flames ripped away by the winter winds? Speak of how their fire dies.
We talked about this a little bit at the beginning as well, but by my grace, a fire does form, but it provides no comfort, no warmth, probably to the delight of cold. And it builds, and yet the wind whipping around keeps from any of the heat reaching their soon-to-be frost-bitten fingers before it slowly dies.
Excellent. And Hunger. Speak of the hollow ache within the human's stomach. What do they remember of their last meal?
Typical human fare. Not fancy or high-end, nothing that took 9 pans and 2 days to prepare. They remember comfort and home and a meal shared with those people that seem to be put on a piece of paper for some reason. And they remember it was never a truly full stomach. There was never quite enough. There was sharing with the others, sharing with the little ones. And they thought, adorably, they thought they knew hunger then. And they've reached a whole new level of understanding of what hunger truly is.
There is a great difference, I feel, in experiencing hunger and meeting hunger.
I would imagine so. My pleasure to make their acquaintance.
So, Fear once again is in the lead. Fear, you'll speak of your prey surrounded. Speak of how the blizzard itself responds as you near your quarry. Does the storm fall silent, or does it grow even more wild with your approach?
It grows wild and deep. And the wind howls, and the human knows that we are nipping. I am nipping at their heels. And I wonder how Flame feels to always be last, even though I carry the least favor with our mistress. I am still in the lead. I still run first. I am only last in favor, because I know that in her eyes we are all worthless things. You have the illusion of her favor, that is all. Nothing more.
Mm-hmm. Snowflake time. So, once again, I see that, and yet Flame is the only one this round, once again, who is successful in being able to to get what was needed. And so, once again, Flame may make a perfect, impressive cut. And there's no
Guys definitely play favorites.
Well, Hunger and Fear, on the other hand, once again, they are to make tiny, forgettable cuts in their snowflakes. And the blizzard rages on. Once again, it is time to roll for that which you need. Okay. So it appears once again that, well, it appears, and I say once again, but it appears that Cold has pulled forward a bit and has gotten a 4. And now I must ask if anyone wishes to make any deals for anything else.
I would offer you pity if you would accept it. We need to capture our quarry to retain our mistress's favor. And I feel like currently we might be working most in the same alignment. Not sure about the others. So if you would accept this pity, then you may have my 5.
I missed who you were talking to on that.
You.
Me? Okay. I don't want to, but I would prefer to satiate the mistress's hunger than face the consequences of her being unfed. So I will accept your 5.
Here. Would you like to maybe for once beat flame, catch the human, satiate the mistress?
Dear Hunger, no one of us may satiate her on our own. It is only if we all succeed that she is fed and made pleasant and happy for a time, as much as she is able. But I digress. I see the point that you make. I have
There's no
shown that...
reason why we cannot have both.
I think I have shown that I am not above taking pity from any, for what is fear but a state that one finds at the bottom of all terrible things. I would be honored to be the first to complete this hunt. However, I have a question for Flame. Would you take my token of disfavor? It is only but one away from where you are now, but I am curious to see if you in fact do put our mistress above yourself, above your station.
This deal is between you and Hunger. It does not involve me.
But I am choosing to involve you. I am choosing to say, my condition for accepting this pity is that you and I trade tokens.
So you want my 2 for your 4?
I want you to have my 4. If you had a 3, I would not care. If you had a 1, I would not care. I do not care what I hold in her eyes. What I care is to see you humble yourself as you said you are willing to do. You have been last in this hunt. I have been first.
And yet we only succeed if we all succeed. So does it matter who is first to finish? You said yourself at the very beginning, it's a sign of patience as we move forward. So no.
How fascinating. You are so proud. And you are so weak. Do you know what is funny about being fear?
Enlighten me.
I am not afraid to lose this hunt. So thank you, Hunger, for the offer. But clearly, it shall not be. I think this human might be getting away. It is so fast. And you are so distracted.
Very well. I see then that I have still a couple of questions to ask. As Cold has this round received a 4. Cold, speak of how the wind cuts like knives through the human, and how they feebly attempt to resist its embrace.
You're wearing
threadbare cloak that perhaps might have once been blue, but it is sort of dusky gray now, fraying at the edges. It was never very thick to begin with, but it has spots wearing through as well to let in the cold. And they try to tug it closely around themselves, but I speak to the wind and send a burst of cold wind ahead to wrap around them and blow open the cloak as they try futilely to pull it closer. And they get colder still.
And I see, too, that, that we have a 5 for flame. You are the second to gain a 5. We are speaking again of your prey surrounded. Speak of the blades you unsheathed. Does the human catch a glimpse of them through the trees? Do they fear death? Do they fear you?
I believe that the human thinks that they still have a chance at escape, which, with how we are all progressing, I think is a little foolish on their part, but let them have that false hope. But they do not see me, they feel me, because if you've ever been cold and freezing, that first glance of warmth or fire is painful when they feel it for the first time in so long. So yes, they fear me, but hope of life is still around the corner.
Interesting. Very well. So, again, now, once more by my reckoning, I see that Cold was successful in achieving the number that they wanted. And therefore, they may make a perfect, impressive cut in their snowflake. And Flame may make a tiny, forgettable cut. And the blizzard rages on. Time once again to roll for what you need.
What were you saying, Fear, about finishing first?
I was saying that, again, I am not proud like you.
Not how you were acting earlier. Bragging on how you were ahead of me.
Not bragging.
What you say and what you do are completely different things.
Stating facts, my dear Flame. I led this hunt, and now I choose. Go. Finish. How much time do you need? How much pity must you take? Will hunger
Let this
offer it to
hunt,
you?
and yet Cold and I are right here with you.
But it was not cold that took my home. It was not starvation.
So flammable then.
I see that, well, it is almost laughable for me to ask this, but yet it is my job, so therefore I must. I see that, Hunger is in a position, should it be desired, should she desire, to offer fear pity.
Oh no, I'm far too distracted, and this human is awfully fast.
I suspected as much. Very well, then. We have 2 more 5s. So, let us see. Hunger and cold. Cold is first. So, therefore, in this case, the third. To achieve a 5. Speak of what you whisper to your prey. Cold, do you tell them truths, mock them with taunts, or make wicked promises? Any of
Wicked
those?
promises. Whisper to them, they're almost there. Just keep going. Go to the flame you see. It will warm you. You'll be safe there. And meanwhile, send the breeze going through their cloak, blowing it open again while telling them, just keep going. Go to the flame. You will be safe.
And hunger. For but the briefest, perhaps tiniest of moments, you feel pity for the human so easily and foolishly trapped. Speak of what you see in them that summons forth such pathetic sympathy. Do they beg or weep? Do you know them?
Oh, I hardly doubt I know them. I can barely tell the humans apart. Oh, but they scream to me of cold and flame, hunger and fear, and I know all of those. I am one of those. I have felt all of those. It's for the briefest moment I have an understanding. But it is but a human, and therefore not worthy of feeling these beautiful, deep feelings for very long. They couldn't handle it. Everything they do must be temporary and short, and we will snuff it out as we see fit.
I see. Very well. And, Flame, you are the first to reach your goal. You will speak of your victory, certain. Speak of the last hope you dangle in front of the human. What illusion of safety do you weave?
With Cold's beckoning towards the human, just saying to follow me. Safety's there, ever so close. Just go a little farther. They see little bits of candlelight in the windows far off in the distance. A small village of safety and warmth and food. Of course, it's not really there. But there's the illusion that it is. And just that little bit that will continue to keep them going, unbeknownst to them that they are headed towards their own doom.
Indeed. Well then, it seems that 3 of you, Flame and Hunger and Cold, may now make perfect, impressive cuts in each of your snowflakes. So I shall. Should you see anything strange appearing on the way through which you are watching this, just ignore it for now. Anything odd you may happen to see in the bottom right-hand corner of your little screens there. It is a thing I am working on. But now, the blizzard rages on. So, you must each roll for what you need. Flame, of course, can roll to be completed, so as is completed, so just rolls a die under that. Alright. Well, I see that no one this round has rolled anything they need, nor anything anyone else needs.
You're gonna get intense now.
Therefore, let us see. Yes. So, and yet, the human has hope. Despite being cornered, the human has hope. And the blizzard rages on. Now, we shall go again. And, Fear, have you made your roll?
So maybe I have a question then. I thought do you claim my token? Does that mean I still roll?
Oh, yes, you still roll.
Oh.
Yes. I have placed what I'm referring to as a mark of shame upon your token.
Got it. I thought it meant that you took away my ability to roll. Never mind.
No. You still roll even though you are tokenless.
Got it. Thank you.
Otherwise, there is no way to finish. But I see that now I can retract it. For it appears that cold has been successful. And I see no one has anything else they can offer at this time, given where we are with things. So, cold. You have achieved a 6. So you will speak of your victory, certain. Speak of why the human stumbles and falls.
They're going toward the promised flame ahead. the illusion, the direction. I spoke on the wind, telling them to go toward. They think it's right there. They just always just gotta reach, but they're so close. They could just go a little further. And cold wind blows their cloak open once again, and their toes. The frostbite starts to take over their toes. In my spirit form, I have my dagger that I just kind of brushed along the back of their head, ruffling their hair, and they feel something and startle and turn, and they trip and stumble, and they don't see me yet. They still think they're almost there, and they quickly right themselves and start looking for something behind them, and when they don't see it, they continue to hurry on toward where they think safety lies.
Cold, you may make a perfect impressive cut to complete your snowflake. And the blizzard rages on. Let us roll again.
And just roll a d6 now.
Yes. In case you happen to get a 6 to offer someone pity. But it seems there is no pity now. And yet, still, the human has hope. The blizzard rages on. Let us roll again. Is that everyone? Yes. Huh. And yet, the human's blood still burns hot. And still, the blizzard rages on. Let us try again. So I see that Cold does have the option of offering pity, if they desire.
Here, what are you after?
No, that is the right question. I know what I am not after. I am not ambitious. I do not wish to sit high in our mistress's favor. I do not wish to have that attention on me. A part of me wished for vengeance, but I am past that now. I am afraid of what happens should we win and she consumes. I am afraid of what happens if we lose and she consumes. When pity is offered, I have always taken it, for I am not ashamed to humble myself. I wished only to see the shape of flame's pride. I have seen hunger's pity, and it is a kind thing, though still sharp, too many teeth. And what about you, Cold? What do you wish? And do you wish this hunt to succeed, or do you wish it to fail? There are still two of us, and I could have succeeded already, but I wish to see the size of Flame's hubris, and now I know it. And that is all I wanted, so I am satisfied.
I wish to have my cold forest again. The cold comfort that our mistress has been denying me. I saw two paths to that. Either I gain her favor, become her favorite again, and we succeed, or we fail and we attempt to overthrow her. Now I have regained, or gained perhaps for the first time, the top position of favor. I believe she would give me what I desire again, for a time, until that shifts again, and who knows how long that will last. Favor with her is variable. She is a very mercurial sort, and one never knows how long her favor will last. I want us to succeed because I believe whether she gives us what we want or not, I think gaining her favor would be the first step toward overthrowing her if that did ever become our plan. So yes, I do want us to succeed. But mostly I want my cold, comforting forest again, whether through her favor or through other means. I think the first step toward that is success here. So if you will accept it, I will offer you my pity to bring us one step closer toward this prey. And then we can decide where to go from there.
I would put the same offer to Flame, but in that way, we would fail in this hunt. And Cold, should we succeed, for I think our odds are good if I take your pity, I ask as my favor of you if you would be so kind in your cold comfort. Remind our mistress who led this hunt, and remind her who allowed it to falter, who brought up the rear, who ran at our backs, and only because of pity managed to catch up to her least favored. If it would entertain you.
Good. I am very intrigued by where we could go from here if we are able to succeed.
Agreed.
It's quite a good deal, because if we fail, you're the one in the doghouse.
I like how you think that frightens me.
Not you, Fear. I'm talking about Colt.
There is more to disfavor.
We are so close, though.
I will take your pity, Cold.
Very well. So, is the third to claim a 6. Fear. You're speaking of your victory. Certain. Speak of the snow's embrace. How your prey struggles to stand, but knows they may never stand again.
It has taken them this long to notice that what they wore as protection has worn away by the elements, and now it is ice and rocks and frozen earth that cuts at the palms of their hands and the bare arch of their feet. And they try so hard to scramble away to find any purchase in the slick winter weather. But there is only cold and bloody footprints in their wake that we follow like the good little dogs we are.
Well, as you have through pity received the final thing that you need here, you may make a tiny forgettable cut in your snowflake to complete it. And the blizzard rages on. So, let's see where we are. Well, I see once again. Nothing available. Nothing available. And yet, the human still has hope. And the blizzard rages on. Well now, I see that Flame has managed to achieve a 6. Do you wish to offer pity to Hunger?
If they will accept it, I do offer it.
I'll pass. You're my greatest inspiration at this point in time, and I've learned that I don't necessarily need to humble myself to further the hunt at this point in time. Maybe the mistress can appreciate hunger.
Very well then.
And yet, for some reason, some inexplicable reason, the human's blood still burns hot. Time again to roll for the blizzard rages on. No success. No success. Which means you feel the human slipping away. And the blizzard rages on. So close. So very close. The blizzard rages on, and yet the human is lost.
Fear? What was that you were saying about trying to feed a spirit? To whom?
It is not about trying, my dear Cold. Where do you think she will take her sustenance from, now that we have failed in this hunt?
Well, it is obvious who has caused us to fail.
They don't seem very remorseful, though. Which I'm not surprised.
No. No.
Probably
That's
because they
Adorable
know
you point the finger, Flame. You too refused pity when it was your moment.
but the hunt was still early. Do you let it go because you know that the mistress will look upon you favorably because you humbled yourself?
I would assume so, yes, actually.
Only one here clearly, deliberately sabotaged us in the end. I think it's clear who we should feed to Yukiana.
What
You?
is it? Oh.
I'm not the one who denied us the opportunity to catch her prey at the end.
No, Fear did, and before Fear, Flame did, and in the end, I did. It seems that hubris is a failing of many of us, or a quality, depending on how you look upon it.
Perhaps failure will give us the humility to be successful next time, should we so choose.
We could choose to turn hunger over to her, or what would happen if we all turned on her at once.
Well, let's see what's going to happen then. So, The spirit who has received the most marks of pity will speak first, and onward until the spirit who has received the least marks of pity speaks last. Ties here are broken by Yuki no Yunioka's favor. In this case, those who are highest in favor speak first. Those lowest speaking last, receiving the worst punishment. Let us see here. Stand before the icy throne. So, this means that we have two who have three. We have two who have 3 flakes of pity. And hunger is slightly first there in
Funny how that worked out.
the order. So, as the first to speak, you will speak of the human escaped. Speak of the voice of the human heard. It called through the snow, emboldening them. What did it say?
Many words. Some I haven't heard before, so I assume they're names. There was a lot of begging and pleading. And in the end, defiance. A refusal to lay down and die. A certain resilience, as much as I hate to give them credit for it. A lot of shouting anger into the wind.
Very well. Now, of course, were the medium different, I would say to destroy your flake of snow. But I shall simply be satisfied in that none shall see it, and it shall be either destroyed or hidden away forever. The second to speak shall be Fear. Fear, you will speak of the hunt, pathetic. Speak of how Yuki Onna knew you would fail this hunt, as you have failed countless hunts. How did you know this would happen? Is Yuki Onna punishing you?
Always. But that is how my mistress chooses to show affections. I wonder if she sees how hard Hunger and I tried. Was she watching? Did she note our hurried steps? How quick we were to take the aid, the pity of our fellow spirits? Our mistress is wise, and I do not wish to curry favor. I have never sought to go above my station. Look, I come to you humbled still at the favor that you had granted me, though I could have held higher. I do not want it from them. I would say look to our leader. Perhaps therein lies the answer to why we failed.
Your flake of snow shall too be hidden away from the world for eternity. Third to speak shall be Flame, who has but 2 flakes of pity. Flame, you will speak of Yuki Ona's fury, justified. Flame, speak of how she turns her back on the spirits and denies you even the comfort of her gaze. What becomes of the spirits when she turns her attention from them? Do they become less than they were? Do they scream?
Her gaze is what sustains us. It makes us who we are. And when she doesn't look upon us anymore, we become consumed by ourselves. Hunger feels the gnawing, the painful grip in the stomach, starving. Cold feels frostbitten and lethargic, unable to move, until they can no longer slither away to what they desire. And fears, they said they don't fear until Yuki Onna looks away, and I feel the ever-burning flame consume me. I will not put words or screams in the other spirit's mouth on whether they yell in pain or not.
Flame, your snowflake too shall vanish from the world forever. And finally, Cold, who is the last to speak, the one who accepted the least amount of pity. You will speak of the punishment given to you, and you alone deserved. Speak of how Yuki Ona's expected this from you. A second human, now released, uncaptured, escaped, just like before. Does she even speak a word to you? When last you failed, she stripped the warmth from your ethereal form. What does she take from you now?
I want to speak of how it wasn't for lack of trying. It wasn't because I didn't accept help or pity. It was because hunger deliberately sabotaged it all in the end. But as I stand there staring up at her, I realize she would hear none of it. It would be pointless and only serve to further punish me through angering her more. I don't show contrition though, because I know I did what I could. And maybe if I bide my time, I can find a way, now that I have a potential ally that I know is not entirely happy. Maybe eventually there's a way out. So I stand in silence and look up at her. She tells me to pull out my favorite of my knives, my beautiful dagger that I lovingly handcrafted to show my skill and appreciation, the most beautiful knife I could dream up and make. I stare at her and I pull it out And she waves a hand, and it just disintegrates. Because she knows that will hurt me most right now.
Very well. And so too is your snowflake hidden from the world, gone, effectively destroyed, never to be seen again. May the crocus never bloom, for you have work to do. And thus, dear listeners, our tale has come to an end. Thank you all very much for playing to serve her wintry hunger. I think we're going to pull back here. I see there has been a great desire to stage a mutiny.
Before we even started, we were talking about this.
I'm cool with the second episode if everyone else is cool with the second episode.
I mean, I'm available.
Revolution. Mutiny.
Viva la chili revolution.
I have plenty of knives left. It was just my favorite, and now I am angry.
So the next episode will be played using the rules from My Life with Master. Well, I thank you all so much for this. This was absolutely breathtaking. It is a real pleasure to get to do this with folks who are as into stories as I am. And so I very much appreciate it. Well then, time I feel to get to our outros. If we're good with that, I think we're going to go ahead and start coming out of this and talking about how we felt about this game. If we want, we can speculate on things, or we can talk about just favorite moments or what have you. And of course, tell folks where they can find you. Actually, yes, primarily tell folks where they can find you, if you wish, or if you have anything you want to plug. But then, yes, also tell us any final thoughts. And we go in reverse order from the way we began. So we shall begin with Alex.
I'm Alex Wolf, pronouns they, they, and I'm not on any social media. This was a delight. It's been a long time since I've done a stream, and I was so happy to do it on your channel, Jim. Playing with everyone was such fun. Thank you all so much. And for those that probably might not be able to tell, I'm currently snowed in Washington, in that cold snap. And so after this, I will dig out my car, realize I cannot drive my car to the supermarket, then borrow my friend's boots because I am cat sitting, and will be trudging through the snow, not too dissimilar from the game we just finished, but hopefully with less knives, and make my way to a supermarket because there is no food in this house. So fun times. Feels very fitting of a way to end this game. But thank you all, really. This was such a perfect way to spend what was going to be a very uncomfortable day. So thank you.
Yay! Very cool, very cool. And if you have no any other final thoughts, then I will head us over. Okay, over to Elliot.
Hi, I am Elliot. You can find me at Elliot Solvarian on Twitter, Instagram, Itch. I do cosplay and write, mostly solo. journaling games. I don't have any other streams or anything coming up anytime soon, but this was so much fun. It is always a delight to play anything on Jim's channel, and it usually involves death or being evil or both or betraying everybody else in the party, usually a mix of those things, and it's always great fun and lots of good stories told. And I always love the exercise and creativity of just very roleplay heavy storytelling games that I get to play in here, and it's always a wonderful experience.
Awesome. Also, I am just curious if you'd like to say, as I happen to know that you have played this game once before.
Yes.
So how was it the second time coming back?
I've been trying to remember the last one. Like, I remember my overall impression of it, and I think it was the first game I really played that was so open in how you play it without a lot of mechanics and everything. So that kind of helped me see what the world of storytelling games can be, and that's what stuck with me. I remember playing Flame because I remember where I had the question at the beginning about where she stores your heart. That's like the main thing that stuck with me about my character, that I chose that she had my heart in a necklace she always wore on her.
Yeah.
And so like I don't remember a lot of how the actual game went, just the major impression over how much I enjoyed that and the exercise and creativity and just it opening this new world of games to me. So that was great, and it was fun to be able to come and play again. And this was quite the story that I'm sure I will not forget.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. As I recall, the first time around, that group caught the human.
Okay, that's when I saw it.
And I believe Cold came out on top in that one. The individual was Cold, and it is fascinating to see, because I think this is of course is more of a tragedy, but an interesting one, a very interesting one. I liked it quite a lot. But I'm sorry, did you have any other thoughts, or shall we move on?
This is great, and it's something that I definitely want to play again occasionally.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm so glad we finally got a chance to do this again. Very cool. And now let us head over to Anik.
Hello, my name is Anik. You can find me on Twitter at Anikster. The only thing tragic about this game was my dice rolls. I was fully willing to feed our glorious mistress until the dice told me to tell her to go fuck herself. So roughly around round 3, I started counting snowflakes and probability. And this is where my bachelor degrees in science come in. And I'm going, I'm not going to win this. I'm going to take them down with me. So I do love narrative-heavy games, although I do also love Pathfinder 1 because you get to roll up to 60 dice at a time, and I have a lot of shiny math rocks. So I love both story and dice. But I think it was Mare who posted it in chat. In a game like this, if there is a chance for me to be spiteful and take everyone down with me, yes, I will absolutely take that chance. So I was thrilled that Fear and Flame showed me a way of refusing pity and dragging the whole collective down. And I was very happy to be the one to wring the neck of our little group consortium at the end there. I also love stuff like I usually play Sunken and Tin Candles, where you already know everyone's gonna die and fail at the end. So, I'm just gonna lead it down a similar path. I hadn't met Alex or Elliot before, and I'm always thrilled to roleplay with people who roleplay. And in this case, I was just very lucky also that the character I got to roleplay was also a conniving bitch, and I didn't have to change much about myself. So that went really well. As for plugging stuff, I don't have dates yet because my life's a little fucked up right now. But eventually I'll be streaming games on Eva Saric's channel again, where I'm also DMing a game called Wiesen, which is a Nordic horror role-playing game. Sort of like late Victorian era, but all the monsters are real, and we're playing in like a Swedish Norwegian area where all the monsters are real, but they're not necessarily monsters, but they're always a problem, and my poor little human victims have to deal with them. It is a very cool game. We just finished season 1, we're doing the leveling up, and now we're going to go on to season 2. Again, my life is a mess, but I'm hoping to be able to start it in spring of 2022 again.
Very cool. I just have to say that I actually was very pleased when I saw that you had signed up for this, because this was one of those things where I was like, I just remember thinking to myself, I think even before you had signed up, I was like, man, this game would be just perfect for Anik.
Anik was in my DMs showing me, like, look at this new game I found before you posted signups.
I run a lot of like horror, tragedy, betrayal, like even when I try to run nice games, I also run a lot of Ryutama, which is like happy, feel-good Japanese TTRPG. It never ends up staying feel-good, and I don't know why, but it's probably me.
You keep saying you keep wanting to play Black Dragon in Ryutama.
I know, I really do. I also want to play Magical Kid and Save the Day. Maybe I'll manage making it happy and good and stuff. But probably not.
Brilliant.
Like I said, my heart is as black as my sweater. It just always seeps out somehow.
Well, thank you so much for coming and playing. That's because it was perfect. It was perfect. And finally, over to Mare.
Hi everybody, I am Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. Every other Tuesday, I am on Graham Cracker's channel at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, playing in a game of called Anarian's Rest, which is Homebrew 5e. And then every Sunday over on Friends Who Roll Dice, I'm the game master of The Soul's Confidant, which is an Invisible Sun campaign. That starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are not playing this week because it's the holidays and I'm over here. We will have content on the 2nd next week, and we will be back with regular sessions on the 9th. And then I will also be in a game early spring, late winter over on Eva's Serrate channel of Horizon's Call, an aquatic 5e game where I play a centaur rogue on a boat. And I think that's it.
Do you have any other final thoughts about this game? I can't remember.
It was fun. I liked it. It's fun to watch people snip at each other. It's so amusing.
It is, is it not? It's glorious. Awesome. All right, well, that leaves me. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. I am on holiday break now, or I will be in a few minutes. So I'm going to be in a cocoon for a little while. But when I come back, I'm going to be over sometime in January, I think is when we're starting this back up again. I'm going to be on a Dresden Files campaign over on the Wandering Society, run by Alyssa, who ran the Dark Matter campaign on this channel. It's that game also has an Eno in it, and we've been playing some offline. It's been a heck of a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get into it for the stream. But then that campaign is called Spare Change, and so I'm very much looking forward to it. And of course, when I come back to doing stuff on this channel, most likely in sort of around mid-January or so, we're going to have more Invisible Sun, The Edge of Paradox, the campaign that we've been running off and on for the last couple of years. And we will get to finally, Arvislai have returned to Saturnine. And so they can take care of all of these things that have been pressing for so freaking long. Seems like ages, months and months. Yea, though it was perhaps only a week or so in time, in our timeline. But we shall see. We shall see what happens. And of course, something else that's coming up is going to be happening in February. There's going to be a short campaign that I'm going to do using Rosette Diceless, a scenario called Top of the World. It's a scenario I've been trying to make happen for some time, but finally, I think everything's in place for it to happen. There is a wonderful cast waiting in the wings for us to get this going, and it's basically going to be a sort of paranormal spy thriller set during the Cold War era in the UK. And so basically I'm kind of smashing David Lynch into John le Carré. And I very much am looking forward to seeing how that turns out. So announcements for that shall happen soon. But now that we have come to the end of our time, let us see. Who can we go and say hello to? I see Mishi is streaming. Speaking of spy thrillers, I believe that Mishi is streaming a Tom Clancy game. So we'll probably go over and say hi to her. Probably anyone who has watched this channel for a while probably would have last seen her in the short campaign we did of Alas for the Awful Sea. So feel free to go over there if you are so inclined and say hi to her with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you all of a sudden. Farewell.